Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I bid you a warm welcome this wonderful Monday. It's a brand new week, and this week promises to be a very interesting one as we're going to be talking about quite a number of things. There are a lot of cases, would I say corruption or alleged corruption cases that we're going to be talking about. President Tinubu has jetted out again to this time, I think, Türkiye. We're also going to be talking about quite a number of things, from moving cases to people being granted pardons, I think. Yeah. And a bit of very interesting news from the sports. There's a bit of news from Afghanistan and a whole lot of other things right here at the bar today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you're just joining the bar for the very, very first time, we bid you a warm welcome. We say that this is where we bring everything politics, sports, entertainment, and everything else in between. And so when we say anywhere in between, the gist can literally carry us anywhere. But sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us today. And with me in the studio is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank God it's Monday. A fantastic, mild Monday. It's mild. It's a mild Monday.
What's that even supposed to mean?
Mild Monday. You know what we mean? It's a mild Monday.
I don't even want to know what that means. I'm not sure I even want to know what that means.
Look, it was wild earlier, but we'll save the wild for Wednesday, so it's a mild Monday.
Mild Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's go into the gist for today. Let's start from local gist, and the truth is, President Tinubu has officially departed Abuja for a state visit to Türkiye.
Yeah, state visits are important, especially when it comes to you being a country that knows that you do not exist on your own. So for diplomacy's sake, for business, security, and all of that, it's good to have all of these connections. And Turkey seems to be an important country for Nigeria. So a state visit is also some kind of endorsement on your government. It shows that, this country feels that you are worthy of being welcomed at that level, because people go to countries for all different levels of visits. So the state is arguably, I think, the highest that you will get, because now you're being received by the entire country, not just the president, or not that you are there for medical tourism or anything like that. So in this case, it's important, seeing especially that Nigeria has been doing a lot of business with Turkey. If you look at the private sector, there's a lot of furniture that are being imported from there. I don't know what we send to them in return, but I also know that Nigeria is also buying attack helicopters from Turkey and some other military hardware. So all of this should rub off positively on Nigeria.
Yeah, so you know what, we'll see what exactly is happening there. But the truth is, President Tinubu is not in Nigeria anymore. But the vice president is back. By the way, there was a video of him going to see the president to brief him about what happened in Davos. So at least it's safe to say that vice president is back, but the president is out of the country. Also, a bit of news from the House of Assembly, not the National Assembly actually. The House of Representatives had disowned the Minority Caucus ad-hoc committee on tax laws. So apparently, for anybody that needs clarification on that, so apparently there is the Minority Caucus had set up a ad hoc committee on the tax laws, and all the discrepancies, all the talks of alleged discrepancies, that they said that there's something wrong with the tax laws and all that. And now the House of Representatives spokesperson has come out to say that that is actually pretty much illegal, that it is only the Speaker of the House that can set up a ad hoc committee and not a caucus.
Yeah, on the one hand, you would hope that these things are driven majorly by the love for Nigeria and Nigerians. If indeed some things have been inserted in the tax laws, then whatever it takes to get them to do the right thing, so that Nigerians, do not fall into a trap. the government has insisted that no new tax laws were created. They just, in fact, reduced them and reworked the laws to favor Nigerians. That's what government claims. But somewhere along the line, a document emerged and an allegation was made against government that they had inserted some things that would give them powers to do certain things, that would not augur well for the good of Nigerians. Now, the government has denied all of that and said that, okay, when the House finally convenes, they will be able to sit and look at the alleged discrepancies, if any. But the opposition now went ahead to set up, and there are laws guiding how the House works. Now, I'm not sure they can stop them from having a regular caucus meeting, but setting up an ad-hoc committee without, the gavel and all the trappings of office kind of makes it illegal.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is illegal. That's what the House spokesperson is saying at the moment. So we'll see if there's going to be a reply from them. And now let's move on from that. And now let's talk about a bit of court cases, or did I say court issues that have been going for. First things first, let's talk of Mrs. Alison-Madueke's corruption trial. So the trial was supposed to begin today in the US. In the UK actually. Apparently, it's been moved to tomorrow, as they're saying that there are a bit of legal and technical reasons for the issues. They're saying that they're still picking jury, and the prosecution and the defense are still talking about the kind of evidence that can be put out and not. So, but now, according, the case looks like it's going to start tomorrow and not today anymore.
Again, it's funny how, someone that is alleged to have stolen a lot of money from Nigeria is being tried for corruption in the UK and not Nigeria. It's funny how we seem to have outsourced justice in this country, and how it's possible for us to be powerless, in this kind of matters. Because I don't get it. Is it that there's no proof and government is just lying against this person? Because if the British people, with the small, information that they have, can actually take this case to court, Nigeria, that has all the proof in court, should have pushed for more. And I don't know. Then all these treaties that we sign, you sign this treaty, sign that one, we can extradite people and all that. But when push comes to shove,
a lot of
it
times
hardly ever happens. I don't know, man. But at least she's going to appear in court tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like she's
for
gonna
alleged corruption.
Yeah, and that's just like the when you think about it, it's literally just the tip of the iceberg. It's basically the tip of the iceberg compared to the things that she's been accused for in Nigeria. Anyway, still talking about a bit of corruption here and there. Another interesting case I think we had talked about a couple of times that we talked about last week. We actually talked about this one last week a lot, is the matter of Mike Ozekhome, and how Nigeria is now, the main issue he has is in the UK. But would I say that it kind of looks like the same thing that is happening with what's her name? Diezani. Like, the main issue she has is in Nigeria, and then there's a part of it that she's being tried at the moment in the UK. For him, his main case is in the UK actually, but Nigeria is now saying, which is interesting, it could be a very tiny bit, but it looks, Nigeria is not taking it lying down. They're saying, because part of the documents it tendered in the UK are Nigerian documents, their passports and all that, where they are alleging that he forged the case. Now, the development with this case now is that when they got to court today, which was supposed to be his arraignment, there was I'm trying to look for the person's name directly. Yeah, the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo. Now, representing the AGF informed the court of the AGF's decision to take over the case from the ICPC. That's the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Commission.
Yeah, according to him, there's section 174 of the Constitution that empowers the AGF to take such decisions
Yeah.
and all of that. I'm going to go say what we've been saying since, maybe from a few set of words that are different from the previous, but the same thing. Mike Ozekhome is someone that has come across as, respected and professional in his industry, which is actually, a business of upholding the law. We're talking about a senior advocate of Nigeria. You cannot count top lawyers in Nigeria and not count his name.
Yeah.
So it's strange for me.
It's strange
that is involved or his name is even being mentioned in corrupt circles and circumstances.
So another very interesting thing is with this case is that in court today there were a former Attorney General of the Federation, led
by
at least
a former
15 SANs.
led
the defense, and I get it that
a former AGF was there.
Yes, a former AGF and led 15 SANs for the defense. I get the angle, like everybody needs to be defended, but really. So
maybe even this is why the AGF is also stepping in, saying that it's big guns for big guns now, and if the ICPC or whatever, we're going to go it with their own in-house lawyers or their designated lawyers, and Ozekhome's defense already has an AGF and all these senior advocates. It's time they also brought out the big guns also.
But also,
so maybe that's why.
Am I wrong to be a bit skeptical that a case that is moved to the Attorney General's office, and I'm not saying that anything, I'm just saying that, doesn't that also mean that it could also get stalled a lot?
Yeah, it could even get stalled if it didn't go to the Attorney General's office in the first place. But I think contrary to that, the way this matter is moving, I don't see how it's going to get stalled. I think that, in fact, because when the news broke, it was a few months ago, and now they are at trial. You get. And the way it was before, you would have thought that it was going to be a trial in the UK.
Yeah.
Until the Nigerian angle was introduced.
So
I don't think the stalling thing will happen. I don't think so. I actually feel that it looks like, this might be an epic legal battle.
Anyway, hopefully it doesn't stall, but because the prosecution has now asked for time for adjournment, and now they did that, and the justice has now adjourned until February 24th for arraignment.
All right.
So that's the update from that angle also. Now let's move on quickly, and let's go quickly to Oyo State, where it was announced that police had intercepted a truckload of suspected explosives in the state.
I don't want to sound alarmist, but it's looking like there's an increased level of insurgency or crime or or discord in Oyo State. This is similar to how we started hearing Kwara this, Kwara that, and now there are parts of Kwara where the military have to set up shop to try and quell the issues there.
Thank them that this was quelled. Although
it hasn't. There's an increase.
At least this
a policeman was killed.
Yeah, a police. That's what I was going to say. That also at the same time, it's such a sad one. I hope that something is done to nip some of these things in the bud quickly. Talking about Oyo State, Mr. Sunday Igboho is back in the country. Apparently, I think he has been pardoned, or his name has been removed from the wanted list. It's it's said that I think he thanked the Olubadan of Ibadan, saying that there's been talks that the meeting, one of the things that the Olubadan had with the president was his case, that so that he would be removed from the wanted list. And I don't think it's a bad idea, but I remember that it was something that we had talked about in the height of all that drama. Then was one of it is the fact that a lot of the violence that happened then basically drastically reduced, if not stopped, after he was not in the picture anymore. One, and even if he claims that okay, it has nothing to do with him, I would hope that going forward he realize that a lot of things would not fly, especially in the southwest.
Hopefully. Well, I just hope and pray that people do everything by the book.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, Nigeria has been together for so long, and some people have come to terms with the fact that, oh, this is their country and there's not going to be any form of division.
Mm-hmm.
Some feel that Nigeria has been together for too long and that there must be federating states, that basically they want Nigeria to be balkanized. They want Oduduwa Republic. They want Biafra Republic, or what's it called? Oduduwa Nation, and all the nations or nations. If that is going to happen, it's not captured in the Constitution of Nigeria. But if we are going to sit down to talk about the future of Nigeria, it's not the violent ways that people have gone about it. And he also came across as one of those who felt that, he was having all these rallies going from state to state. People were wielding weapons and all sorts. There was this high crescendo that movement hit. But when you keep talking about violence, then that's where you lose me, And, we had said it. All the issues that you said you were trying to fight, you've been away, and those things are not happening. So 2 plus 2 is 22.
It's 22, Abby. So, you know what? Talking about those kind of things, and one of the things that the asking for a cessation has caused in Nigeria is sit-at-home that happens in the southeast. It's been going on for years. It's something that, don't let me say all, a lot of people have condemned. A lot of people have come to say that it doesn't make sense. And I think that some people, especially people that live in the East, have just come to accept, even if some of them don't agree with it. They've just come to accept it. However, it doesn't look like it's the same. That matter is sitting well anymore with Governor Soludo, and you might ask why. So apparently, he had announced before that the sit-at-home, Monday sit-at-home ends in Anambra State, and that's it. However, people still decided to sit at home on Monday, and he decided to go out and check. One of the places that he went is the Onitsha Main Market, which apparently was locked, and the governor went out and said, you know what, since you want it locked, it's going to be locked for the rest of the week, and that the sit-at-home ends. In fact, has also threatened that after 1 week, if he comes back next Monday and the market is not open, there is going to be shut again for another month.
The whole concept of a sit-at-home thing, as it happens in Southeast Nigeria, is a crazy phenomenon. It's something that it is like you can't wrap your head around it. Like, wait, you are protesting this and you contesting that, and you want your own country. So for that reason, your own people should not go to work and business on Mondays. Mondays are supposed to be one of the most productive days in the year. Monday is the first business day in the week because Saturday and Sunday a lot of people don't work.
All over the world.
You
All
know?
over the world.
So Monday is the day you chose to ask people from 5 states, the entire Southeast region, to sit at home. Whenever Nnamdi Kanu was being taken to court, they would say, sit at home for a week, sit at home for 3 days, sit at home for
and
a
then
day.
it now became a permanent thing that...
And for everybody who tried to go out, they were attacked.
Yeah.
And this leads me to the governor's actions. I get what he's trying to achieve to get things back to normal, with the hope that if he does it successfully in Anambra, the other states will follow suit.
Yeah, he's gone to as far back as saying that anybody that doesn't open markets on Monday should leave Anambra. That is not...
Okay, so if that's the case, one of the biggest reasons why the sit at home became a big deal was that not like all the people in the Southeast wanted to sit at home, but they were being attacked.
Yes, it's security
They were being
angle
attacked.
of it.
So,
I agree.
So in brass tacks and in reality, because the headlines can be bold and screaming, as the governor putting things in place that would guarantee the safety of these people from the bandits that will definitely attack them, you know, especially in the rural places, in the places where the governor could not get to today. Do you understand? So for me, if you say, oh, just go out, you must go out, it's fine. Go back to normal. Yeah, go to school, go to work, you know, go to the market. Have you put things in place to protect them?
I think that we can look at it from 2 angles. The angle of the security. There's also the angle of solidarity, nonsense solidarity, which could also now warrant the governor's actions.
Yeah, I actually mentioned it. I said there are 2 ways. Not everybody is in solidarity with the clamor for self-governance or actualization.
Yeah,
But some people...
So, yeah,
some people
I think that security
are.
is a major
So
issue.
if you eliminate the angle where people are being intimidated
I'm
and
not
killed
afraid, yes.
because they stepped out on a Monday in southeastern Nigeria, if you eliminate that angle, then you will now know who the people who are in solidarity as against the people who are not.
Who are not, yes.
Because, however, I'm not sure you can force people to go to the market, if we really want to break it down. Beyond what has been happening in the southeast, okay, remove it from the southeast. If people in Kano, the biggest market in Kano, say next week Monday we are not going to the market for whatever reason, you can't force them. Do you understand? I'm just trying to say that it's a peculiar matter in that's why I call it the crazy phenomenon in the southeast, where it became a thing, and it's been like that for years now, where on Mondays there's no business, banks do not open. Look, which bank wants to risk being attacked, or that their staff will be attacked, or their customers be attacked? Do you understand? And it just trickles down like that. It trickles down the line. So that's what I'm saying too, that as much as you can encourage them to come out, you can't actually force them to open their market.
Anyway, talking about states, we're moving all the way from Anambra State. We're going to Oyo State, where the governor of Oyo State has declared today for the release of withheld 130 billion naira local government funds. He's saying that the local government chairmen that are there now are imposters, and that the federal government should release those funds because the state every month has to look for funds elsewhere to fund the local governments across the state.
What's interesting about this scenario is that something similar happened to the current president when he was governor of Lagos. And of course those funds were not released throughout his tenure from when he was seized, and largely due to the fact that they had done some research and found that the 20 local governments were not enough to make Lagos function well. So I remember the referendum. I actually went to vote somewhere in Soludo. Then there was actually a referendum where people were asked to come vote if you wanted more local governments. But the whole process was truncated because you need the federal house to pass those things into law, and it didn't happen. So they came up with the LCDs, which exist to a large extent today. However, there have been pronouncements by the Supreme Court about the autonomy of the local governments.
Yeah.
But there are prerequisites. One of the prerequisites is that elections are conducted properly and the duly elected people are sworn in, and then they can now function as a local government. But in Osun State,
that's not the case. I agree.
There's a big problem. Osun has a matter of something that happened. Some governors got away with it, but they were caught in a window and it's not working for them. The local government people who were from another party. But a lot of governors, when they come in, they don't even care if you won an election or not. They just sack all the local government chairmen.
Yeah, they know that's the way.
Then they bring in caretaker chairman. Then they organize another election. But now that the Supreme Court has spoken, a lot of people cannot get away with it. They can't get away with it. So what they've done is to go and organize elections and organize it properly. Rivers State tried, and it didn't work. It didn't work because they didn't do the right things by law. And we all know how that panned out. So Osun is doubling down on its own, and I'm not sure they will get those funds. In my own opinion, I'm not sure that in fact, no state should be getting local government funds.
Number one, like you said, I think that he should not be the one clamoring for it. Number two, maybe what happens to ratifying, or is it elections that need to be done? If I'm correct, I think that some people were sacked and some people were brought back. Can we ratify whatever is happening with the local government? Then I think that at that point, then you can make demands. Because if there's still so many discrepancies that have to do with the local government, I don't think that it's in its place, especially when you know that this money is not even supposed to go to you. So where is the...
So in their defense, they'll say that you heard when you read that they say they have been sourcing funds.
Okay, so is state money they want to collect back now, so that they can... Okay. That was FD. Anyway, let's go all the way and let's go to Kano from there, and let's go, as it's literally a Kano earthquake happening right now, as the governor has dumped the dumped the NMPP for the APC. There were reports that this morning APC flags were hoisted there. There's quite a number. I think over the weekend we saw that the governor had resigned from the NMPP. About 21 members of the House of Assembly also have moved to the APC. I think House of Rep members, people just, it's really a tsunami, and they just moved, and the governor as well has also moved. It's probably one of the most interesting moves we've seen in recent times because of the back and forth between him and his, we'll say godfather.
Father-in-law.
Or father-in-law. Whichever one,
or both.
Well, that has happened, and I think it's official to say that the Kano governor is now an APC governor. I think with my last count, that should be about 29 governors, if I'm correct. 29 APC governors. I was counting it and I was looking at a report. They've still not beat PDP's record. Maybe before 2027, at some point, PDP had 31 governors. So we're still getting there. They have still not broken that record yet.
Interesting times. Yesterday in Kano, there was a rally of sorts, a show of force, some people called it, by the godfather, or shall I say father-in-law, but there's father involved somewhere. The Kwankwasia movement rolled out, in massive numbers. Massive, like serious massive numbers. And I'm like, okay, the timing of this is very interesting. Is this you saying, look, I still have the power and the people with me? If you had checked the last elections in Kano, both parties, NNPP and APC, were able to muzzle about 8 million votes each.
Yeah, close to that. Yeah, APC also had close to that.
Yeah, they were both to muzzle. The both of them, between them, they were like 1 point something million votes. You know, they got that much. I don't know if it was the presidential or gubernatorial, but I know that they got so many votes. And now, the governor moving to the APC means some form of decimation. That's what it means. But the NNPP, like at least the Kwankwasia movement, because they're not necessarily NNPP. You know, NNPP was a party that they joined. Are still saying that, look, they have the numbers. Kano is really going to be an interesting place in the next couple of months.
I think that it is going to be an interesting place, actually, even though we know that elections, I think next elections will be seen in Oyo State, though. It's in a couple of months, I think it's this year. So, but definitely Kano State will be one interesting one to watch. But before we leave Kano, a very interesting statement was made by the Director General of the Kano State Signage and Advertising Agency, where he said that he was dismissing the speculation that the governor moved from the party for personal ambition. So according to him, he's saying that APC states benefit more from the federal government and the governor's movement is not personal. So he's kind of insinuating that he moved for his people. But
okay, we hear.
According to him, but if also the fact that APC states benefit more, isn't that also some level of nepotism, which also doesn't put APC in a good light, or even your principal, really?
In trying to defend some things, at times you end up creating more problems for yourself. Now, it's easy for people to just jump on the headline and really make it work against you. That, so if you do not join the APC,
you don't have plans,
the state will not get what they deserve. But if you go by facts, like, for instance, federal allocations, it's not done along party lines. So I don't know what you mean, because one of the biggest things is resources, and the resources are not being shared along party lines. That's one. That negates what he said. But if you're talking about political appointments, that's a standard practice anywhere in the world, where the ruling party puts their people in places except stated by the constitution. However, the same APC has about 3 or 4 ministers that are not members of their party serving in their government. And you would notice that the places that the president has been to that are not they are all saying that they are all getting a lot of support from the president. Abia State, Anambra State. Do you understand? So I don't even think that's a USP or a point.
It's a selling point, Abi. Anyway, let's move on from that and let's go on as usual dose of NDLEA news that they normally drop on Sundays, as they have also announced that over the weekend they intercepted a 30-year-old Brazilian woman at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, with 30.09 kilograms of heroin concealed in factory-sealed coffee packs valued at about 3 billion naira.
So 33 billion. A lot of threes are in play there. A 30-year-old Brazilian woman with 30 point something grams of cocaine or heroin.
Heroin, yeah.
Yeah. So she has 1 gram per age. So maybe if she was 32, she would have had 32 grams.
So she actually was coming into Nigeria.
Yeah, with all that money. Because it's money. The street value is 3 billion.
It's 3 billion.
And by the time they succeed in...
So it's funny because you wonder where she was coming from. Like, is that they didn't notice, or maybe
they have the system.
Maybe that was the intelligence. Like, when she lands in this place, you should check this person out.
Maybe they had paid someone to look the other way. That's another angle
that
to
one
it.
saved it. That one saved it.
And I know that the airlines get sanctioned at times for things like this. And what happened from the point of departure to the arrival. Just picture if those drugs are made it to the streets. That's when you now see one of your neighbors flexing and you'll be like, the guys, do you know what they did?
You know what they did, exactly.
They're 31 point something grams into Nigeria.
It's
masking it as coffee.
Yeah. You see, my coffee business is doing well. Yeah, it is doing well.
Yeah, about that.
Anyway, Joint Admission Matriculation Board JAMB is said to invalidate CBT registrations without life monitoring. So what they're saying basically is that CBT centers, that there's no, so people are building private CBT centers for JAMB to use for the exams. It's basically rented by JAMB, which is not a bad, instead of building your own all over the country, people build and then they rent. But now JAMB is now saying that they are not going to use, or they're going to invalidate even the ones that they have registered before that do not have, that cannot be monitored remotely.
This is all about exam malpractices. Now, the computer-based test is supposed to eliminate that or limit that to a large extent. But of course, now that they have the idea of monitoring those centers remotely, they know that things are happening. So it's good to standardize and ensure that every single center can be monitored. That way, the results will be legit.
Yeah.
If while monitoring, you do not notice any discrepancies being carried out, the results may be legit. I use the word notice though, because it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Anyway, let's move on from a bit of Nigerian.
Some people have made it a lifelong thing, a lifetime.
Yeah, to always circumvent the system.
They're going to circumvent the system.
Cheat.
They're going to
They're just going to be horrible. Let's move on from that. And the United States is beginning to witness a historic winter storm.
Yeah.
And I said that it's killed about 10 people across the U.S. It's the different places. Even though when I see this, I'm like, I don't think it's just a U.S. thing, because I think around the world there's really been an increase.
Yeah, Russia is going through its own. Although some videos that you see now are now AI generated.
Yeah,
Oh my God, but there's this record number of snowfall in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
We know Canada is one of those countries, and if you notice, Russia and Canada are all neighbors to the US. It's so severe that you're talking about 10 lives being lost already. Yeah, now you start to really hope and pray that it doesn't get bad, it doesn't get worse, because it's bad now, so it doesn't get worse. And even in the warm parts of America, they started feeling the chills and everything, so I don't know, man. At times severe weather makes you wonder how people survive these things in the past.
I think that is really horrible, especially for people that do not have those kind of weathers before, and that's the dangerous part. Like I saw one video where a guy was like that in Texas. He has a friend that was complaining. No, that he was complaining to his friend that that it's 20 degrees out there, that is crazy and all that. And then the person in Canada was like, we're minus 20 at the moment. I said, that's you. You're the one that decided to live in the winter. You are the one that decided to live behind the wall. People that don't know what that means. You are the one that decided to live in the north. That's your business. I'm not used to this kind of weather.
And speaking of, we started feeling our own harmattan in Lagos too.
Oh yeah.
I heard Ibadan is severe now.
Oh yeah, I heard so too. You know what? If you can feel it a bit in Lagos, I can imagine. And if Ibadan is feeling it, I can imagine places north, where, before we even get there, places like Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, how we will feel. Then up north, game over at this point. But everybody, please be careful at this point. If you can be warm, find ways to get yourself warm as much as possible. Sadly, there's bad news from southern Philippines, where about 15 people died and about 28 are still missing after a ferry sank carrying over 300 passengers. It's such a sad one. Explosion. There was also an explosion at a biscuit factory in Greece that killed at least 4 people. There's a video that is making the rounds that's talking about the Afghanistan Minister of Education, where he's confirmed that access to schools for women in the country is permanently banned.
The world is such an interesting place. Like
2026.
Someone tweeted something about 2 weeks ago, and he said, "Whatever you do, do not watch Homeland on Netflix." And me, I don't like threats. So stupidly, I started watching Homeland.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
Okay. All right.
So this is me telling people of the world, whatever you do, don't watch Netflix. Homeland on Netflix. You know, watch Netflix.
Okay, so what's the correlation to what we're talking about?
You're talking about Afghanistan and how they're saying women cannot go to school anymore.
Yeah.
Remember that there was a war that went on there. One country was there for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Then they suddenly withdrew. In Homeland, someone was saying it that they talked about this withdrawal in Afghanistan and what would happen and how the Taliban or whatever those people are will stop women from going to school and blah 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 blah. And it's happening.
And it's happening now.
It's, I mean, a lot of espionage and a lot of geopolitics and a lot of things are happening. And I'm watching Homeland and I'm like, okay, this already happened. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, this is about to happen.
Interesting news. Anyway, let's move on from that and let's talk about a bit of entertainment. First, court has now ordered Airtel Nigeria to pay 210 million naira to the family of veteran singer Mbane for using unauthorized use of the song Nigeria Go Survive.
Amen to that. Nigeria go survive. Nigeria will survive. And that's the part that I'm saying amen to. But again, we must realize that at the end of the day, rights are rights. And
is this company not big? I think that it's sad that
I don't know what context that it happened, how
it was used for an advert.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it happened and what led them to it, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of good news for the family.
Oh yeah.
Because this is some income. This is daddy sending you money from the great beyond.
Song probably never made any money.
No, it would have been fine this day, but years after.
After, yeah.
This is daddy signing a check from the great beyond to say, you know what, 210 million to my family. You know, now these are the things that we're talking about. So there's no perfect system. Actually, there will be slip-ups here and there, and I'm sure that whoever is behind it would also bear the brunt because it's beyond the money. It's not a good look on the brand.
Exactly, I agree with you. Talking about that, Nigerians are said to have dominated the top 10 Africa biggest streamers in 2025.
Yeah, and that news is out in 2026. We are in a new world. It's a new world era. It's the era of streaming, the era of people becoming popular just for what they do.
Just because.
However, a lot of them put in a lot of work. We might not. Okay, I don't want us to. Okay, let me just try and gather my thoughts. Some of these people come across as numbskulls and unintelligent people.
Some of them are.
I'm not mentioning names, but we all can zero in. You know, let me tell you something I read a few days ago. I'll come back to this streaming matter. Someone said, the world is at a place where if you read a statement or you heard someone say, "Oh, that guy is so stupid," that the whole world can agree who they are talking about.
Yes.
And immediately my mind went to the president of one country.
Yes.
Do you understand? Without mentioning the name, you said yes, Abi?
Yeah.
So let's take that and put it aside. Now back to the streaming matter. the thing is that this has created jobs and income.
Yeah, a lot of income.
And a lot of people actually put in a lot of effort into this thing.
Yeah.
But do not equate it with any form of,
common sense.
Yeah, and all of that. It's far from that.
It's far from it.
I saw a video of one elderly man. It was virtually half naked, dressed like a woman, and he was dancing and doing all sorts of vigorous things. And it was a TikTok video. And his wife was somewhere in the background, and I'm like, but this man is hustling for his money. Because if he makes it big now, there's daily income that will be coming in.
Look at it as,
you hear people say tap.
But let's be honest too.
Yeah.
No matter the amount of money, the things that you see on Nigerian social media,
oh no,
there are some things that you will not do.
That's why I started with the intellectual angle to it.
You will not do. Maybe too much book also is the problem. That you will think a whole me. Or when you have family online.
You see people. That's why I'm saying, even what they are doing, as much as it might not sound nice to you or sound great to you, it's a lot of work. You see people who are on a stream
for hours.
Hours.
Talking. Yeah, let's be honest.
That's a lot. You see how they bring in props, how they're fighting themselves, they're dancing,
random things.
It's just crazy stuff.
I use random loosely,
but guess
because
what?
I don't want to.
Guess what? People are watching. Numbers are growing.
Shout out! It's not even the people that are showing it. Shout out to people that watch. I would not even lie to you, because sitting down to watch those things for hours.
We used to talk about how the world has come down with this disease called short attention span. You get?
You are the MVP.
But
because
there are people who will tell you that, this person's stream was on for 6 hours, and they would recap what happened.
Because when you think about, let me not use myself as example, because once in a while that I come across some of these snippets mostly on Twitter actually, I'm like, what are these people doing? And then you now see people watch these things for hours. Shout out to the people that watch.
Look,
I'm not even lying.
Before you run down the names, I know you have them. I've seen one or two older Nollywood actors who got their groove back, or who are trying to get their groove back on TikTok. They're there just dancing to songs or singing. And funny thing is, they've been consistent.
They're getting a lot of followership and all that.
There's a popular Nigerian artist whose mom is actually doing very well on her own on TikTok. Yeah, she's very pretty.
Ooh.
Ira Star's mom, she's doing very well on
Sorry,
TikTok.
anybody that is wondering why I'm asking who.
So,
I'm not on TikTok.
So again, it's not all doom and gloom and everything. And the world is so big and diverse that there's something for everybody. It's whatever floats your boat.
Exactly. So topping that list is an Ilyas El Maliki from Morocco with about 847,000 plus followers. Then there's Qatar.
On which platform now?
I don't know.
Because I know that Qatar is Twitch.
I don't know. Biggest streamers is all this. The list has said. I don't know whatever. Qatar AFA has 560,000 plus followers. Shanks Comics is also from Nigeria, has 258,000 plus followers. Enzo, also from Nigeria, 204,000 plus followers. Never heard that name before. I don't know who that is. Pella has 183,000 plus followers. I honestly would have thought that this name would have topped that list.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're combining platforms.
Yeah, maybe. Rachel K has 44,000 plus. Even with that, I honestly thought that maybe he had. Then there's Ojo from Nigeria, 66,000 plus followers. Salma Hassan from Egypt, 64,000 plus followers. Lord Lambert from Nigeria, 39,000 plus followers. And Alias 5 from South Africa, 34,000 plus followers. Never heard of most of these names before. But when it's not something that is like it's not up your alley, you might really not be able to. So I will not say that there's anything anybody else is doing. But shout out to Oyo State. Oyo State is 50 today, actually. So we're going to be just.
It would have been a good time to organize that concert around this time.
What concert?
Moving on.
Anyway, you are not a nice person. The federal government has hailed Funke Akindele on a box office record. I want to say that the amazing things that Nigerian, especially female filmmakers are doing are out of this world. As I was reading this, something popped up on my Twitter as well, and apparently I think Tony Abraham's movie that is still in cinemas also surpassed 1 billion. Nah,
Honestly,
I think that they're doing fantastic.
Honestly, I know we talked about them last week and even the week before. This is huge. This is
huge.
massive.
It is huge.
And you know, I think Funke has hacked it finally, like, because every movie she drops just keeps doing better than the previous one.
It does.
And I now hope and pray that other people will look at what they're doing right.
What they're doing, like you said, same thing too with
up your game.
Tony Abraham. I think our last movie was about 500 and something million,
which was massive.
At that point.
Now she has doubled it.
And now she's doubled it. So like, there's something that they're doing that, you know, there's so many other movies in the cinema at the same time. So many. Let's not even start reeling them out. But there's something that both of them are doing that is just out of this world. So I would sincerely say kudos to them. They're doing amazing work.
Kundus to you, kundus.
Quickly before we go, there's a bit of sport news. First things first. There's talks that Trent Alexander-Arnold is coming back to the Premier League.
There's also talks that it's not true, and that they're going to give him more time at Real Madrid.
Time.
So
yeah, but there's
it depends on who you're listening
where
to.
the conversation really started from is if there was also report over the weekend that the new coach of Real Madrid has said that is not in his plans.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that they've debunked it.
After
a few
all that,
ago.
and look at it. After all the drama that happened with him moving to Real Madrid, even the former coach, literally, between the injuries he got at Real Madrid and the coach not really playing him, I think since he got to Real Madrid for club and country, he's only played 11 games.
Well, it happens to footballers. Trent has achieved everything that any footballer can achieve before he even went to Real Madrid. He's won the Champions League, he's won the Premier League, he's won virtually everything, you know. So, but I'm just going with, after we had the off-air discussion, something popped up, and the guy said he never said that he never said that he was out of his plans. So we'll see if
he's really out of his plans or not. Yeah? Actions will determine what's gonna happen with that. But one very interesting story, and this one I left it till the end, but it's very hilarious. As a coach in Spain has now been sacked by the club FC Sochi after they said that he had realized that his tactics were heavily gotten from ChatGPT, and I think out of 66 games he only won 22.
And they sacked him.
Yes, he's sacked.
That means he's not a bad coach now. If you look at his win
1/33,
to lose ratio, go and check Gary Neville's record when he was in the same Spain, and that one didn't use GPT.
Low blow.
That's a fact.
Low blow.
It is a fact, yo.
Why did you mention someone else's name?
Because we're talking here. We're discussing facts and figures.
You just had to. That was
so
a low blow.
Sacking him for winning 22 out of 60 something does not necessarily mean that you people know what you're doing. You understand? The guy won 22. Organa master.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Organa master.
But really, using ChatGPT doesn't that also mean that you probably don't know what you're doing? But could it also mean that he got that and then he could easily translate that into wins?
One of the biggest things.
But it's not a great win, no. It's not a great ratio, though.
Okay, if you insist.
30%.
Yes. Check the Premier League and look at how many coaches have 30% and above as we speak. Just check now. Should be his facts and figures. What I'm saying in essence is that one of the biggest things I've noticed about football is that they will never be patient with coaches. You know,
these days, yeah.
Nobody cares. You know, you're gone. They're not going to give you 2 years or 3 years to do anything. You either get it now or you're gone. You know, so it doesn't necessarily mean that what he was doing was all bad or all wrong, but they just wanted faster results, and it wasn't giving it to them.
Giving it to them.
And again, any coach, what is taught, would at least practicalize the things that he wants to do in training, and if it works, then you can translate it to the real game. But hey, good luck on your next GPT infused and pushed CV, because now you have to rewrite it, and you probably need GPT to write it, to say, okay, now this is your CV.
Okay, why are you doing? Let's be going. You're doing now. Why? You kind of started praising the guy at first. Now you just had
to do what?
The amount of insults that
to speak the truth.
Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.